launching of a program. In series of our program, we are going around to different states of the country to track projects initiated by both government and development partners. In today's edition, we are in Katsina State, where to have a chat with the state coordinator of Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, Agile. The state coordinator in person of Mustafa Shehu is here with us. Mustafa Shehu, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
So actually, this program is meant to educate and enroll and to bridge the gap of girls' child education, especially in the least advantaged states, and also to empower them economically. It's a project sponsored by World Bank, and there is counterfund from the beneficiary states. Katsina State is one of the states. We want to know how far you have gone in form of achieving the said goals, particularly what you have said during your last meeting, during your last national meeting in Kano.
Okay, so Agile project, like you rightly mentioned, came on board as a result of the report of annual school census of 2018-2019. The report shows in most of the participating states up to between 45 to 50% of girls, especially who finished primary school and JSS, do not transit to the next level of education. And that gave birth to the initial title, 1 Million Girls Project, and later on, 10 Million Girls Project, and later on it metamorphosed into the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, an acronym for Agile. Well, in terms of preparedness for implementation, like other states, Katsina State has been doing well. We have 3 phases: the technical phases, the financial phase, and then the government side. For example, from the technical side, some of the conditions include establishment of the State Project Steering Committee, which is being headed by the Honorable Commissioner of Education and members from other line ministries, civil society organizations, women organizations, and youth organizations. This has been done since towards end of last year and the beginning of this year. The list has been approved by the state government, and it has been forwarded to the World Bank and the Federal Ministry of Finance as part of the guideline for the project.
So, besides setting the steering committee and the other committees to chair the activities of this project, what do you have on the ground?
Okay.
Which will indicate that you are very ready for the project?
Well, for example, the project has 3 major components and a component on COVID. The component 1, which has to do with construction of new schools and the renovation of existing ones. The condition from the state is commitment to provide on voluntary settlement in the event a project is sited in a land occupied by an owner. The government has already signed its commitment that it is going to provide all on voluntary resettlement related conditions to ensure that the project is successful.
Okay, as part of the project, I learned that government is going to employ more teachers.
Exactly.
And the World Bank will provide funds for the construction of classes.
Exactly.
So in terms of employing teachers,
yes,
what have you done with that?
Okay, you know, in Katsina State government there has been a policy which was borrowed from the N-Power system of the federal government to employ S-Power teachers. And part of the agreement with the state is that all subsequent permanent and pensionable recruitment, especially for teachers, will be culled from those S-Power in order to bridge gap in terms of expertise. So in this regard, we have already established a communication with the state government to seek approval so that we identify the required number per agreement with the project from the existing S-Power and then forward the list to the state for employment, permanent and pensionable employment. And I want to tell you that a lot of progress have been made. Already the list has been availed to us and the responsible component leads are taking all the guidelines in place in the implementation manual to ensure that the right teachers are selected, and then we now forward to the state government for next action. Yes.
The target beneficiaries of these projects are rural dwellers.
Sure.
Particularly women. What initiative do you put in place to mobilize such rural dwellers to understand the value and impact of girls' child education?
Well, in this regard, there is an independent component in the project that has to do with communication and social norms. And in the component, there is going to be rigorous campaign through different mass media. There is even going to be engagement with the traditional and religious institutions so that they include the aspect of this sensitization in their weekly, daily, and other social and religious engagement, because these rural communities listen and respect the religious and traditional institutions the more. There are other strategies like town hall meeting, using the mass media, using the social media, using the conventional media, and all those strategies to ensure rigorous campaign in all nook and crannies of the states in order to ensure a complete buy-in by the expected beneficiaries.
So as a coordinator, I'm very sure you are well aware of all the transactions. Has the World Bank provided such funds already, or you are waiting for them to provide their own part?
Well, in the implementation arrangement for World Bank, there are stages. The first stage is for the federal government of Nigeria and the World Bank to agree on assessing those funds. That has been done. For the federal Minister of Finance and the World Bank to agree on the technical requirement to fulfill all conditions to get the funds for Nigeria, that has been completed. Then for state to establish bank accounts to start assessing the funds, all those ones have been completed. The next line of action is between 16th and the 20th of this August, that's 5 days, in the next less than 2 weeks, there is going to be final implementation mission where all implementation arrangements are going to be discussed. And I believe the next step after that is to go into the client connection, which is the financial arrangement to start requesting for funds flow.
Okay. How much is state government to give us kind of fund?
Well, for this project, state government is not expected as a condition to drop any document, any money. The only condition are political will, which have all been signed by the executive governor. For example, there is a condition for involuntary settlement, like I told you initially. The governor has signed and transmitted the copy to the World Bank Regional Office. There was also a condition for recruitment. The second condition is recruitment of teachers where constructions are made by the project, and the executive governor has already signed both the commitment letter for the recruitment and then the teacher recruitment guideline, the stages the state is going to follow in identification of the S-Power teachers and all other requirements, including issuance of the award letter. So this commitment letter has been signed by the governor. It is now back to us technically to continue to follow the guidelines and the action plans to ensure that it is successful. So the arrangement is, once the first set of the schools are constructed, the teachers are going to be deployed into those schools subsequently until completion. And the third condition is the state government has signed a commitment to fund the education sector plan for their 2021 to 2023, which is like the medium-term sector plan. So any other thing in the system that is not funded by the project, the state has already signed a commitment to fund it with the state budget.
So what is the duration of the project?
Well, by design, it is expected to last for 5 years.
So you mean 2020 to 2025?
That is the arrangement.
So now you have said that all it requires is provided within the commitment of the state government, and they are now waiting for the grant from the World Bank through the Federal Ministry of Education.
Sure.
Okay. Within this period, you as a committee, these all three committees you mentioned, what are you doing at your own level to make sure that before such fund come, you'll be fully ready for the implementation?
So what the components lead and other members are currently doing is reviewing the work plan. For each component and subcomponents, there are activities that are going to be implemented in phases. And from last 2 months to date, what we have been doing back and forth, communicating with the national team and other colleagues in the participating state, is to review the work plan. And at this level, Katsina State has already submitted its second to the last version of the work plan. Why I call it second to the last is that there could be some additional observations from the national team, but if there is none, we have submitted our final plan, waiting for its approval, and once the funds flow, the implementation will start.
I think we have discussed it all.
Yes.
About this. This is Agile Coordinator Katsina State, Mustafa Shehu, in this our program. So on behalf of all my crew, I'm Abba Misani saying bye for now.